All right, hello Twitch. Just testing the audio. Okay, I think we are live on Twitch. We got the whole gang here, including Casey. I'm so excited to have you back, Casey. So yeah, I will be starting our audio podcast in just a second, but I just wanted to make sure that everything was live on Twitch and everything was working. The joys of and it sounds like it is. And welcome in Tina and welcome in Champ in chat. I appreciate you both for being here. We also just got a scoreboard update. Tampa Bay Lightning and Avalanche game has started. So I'm sure that game will be on with NC4's.
Oh my! Buffalo's beating the Rangers. Columbus is up 4-0 on Boston.
Nice. So we got a full crowd here. Yeah, we got the Bears game also. The Bears are up 3-0 over the Vikings in the second quarter there. We also have a live Wizards game. Wizards are up 107-93 over Detroit. And I always have a running gag. We'll see if this podcast makes them choke this game away. Since the last couple ones. So I have a live scoreboard up on Twitch. So people are watching this pre-podcast show, if you will. You can see some of that action in there. And I thank everyone for tuning into the early crew. Let me just get some stuff set up on the back end real fast. But I'll talk to Casey for a second. And Casey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Excited to be back with you guys and excited to finally get to be on a show with C4. That's a pleasure that I didn't know that I needed, and I need it more often than that now. I've actually got the Wizards game onto the side here. You can't see it, but it's just beyond my camera in this area right here.
Nice. Yeah, what do you think of their play so far in tonight's game?
I would love to say that I was more analytical and watched a little better. Defensive effort, the few seconds I've watched has not been bad. Landry Shamet is too good for this team. He needs to be traded.
Yeah, for sure.
He's gonna win us games we don't need to win down the stretch.
Yeah. Did somebody have the audio of the game they're watching on? I'm picking up a little bit of feedback on that.
Sorry, could be my TV. That's good now. We turned it down.
Okay, thank you. I'm just doing audio tests right now before we get started. All right, I'm gonna copy this. The last few times I've gone live on Facebook, I'll tell you guys behind the scenes. It keeps on erroring and deleting half of my message. I write this whole long thing with links to all of your shows, and then it basically gives the first 3 sentences, which is very frustrating. So I've had to go back and edit it live on air the last 2 times. So I'm interested to see if that happens third time in a row. But you know, the joys of social media and Facebook, and we are on too many shows now. I have like 100 links in the link section, so you know that's it is what it is. But I'm excited for everyone that's gonna be a part of tonight's show. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It doesn't even like let me write the description. Oh, that's so frustrating. It's like I write this whole beautiful long write-up, and it's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna let you do that. All right, well, I'm just gonna do a short title and edit it on the fly while we're live. I love technology. All right. Anyway, I'm going to start it in 2 seconds on Sports on the Hill podcast page, which is also the audio podcast for anyone that is new with us. All right, so can you guys all mute your mics now, and then I will bring you guys in one by one when we start the show. Awesome.
Recording in progress.
And welcome to episode 322 of Sports on the Hill podcast. Sorry, it's episode 323. I just realized I never edited my Twitch. This is going to be a live Caps pregame show. We're also going to be talking about the Wizards who are playing currently, and we'll be doing a postgame show for them. And then in between all of that, we've got the Commanders who have a lot of breaking news to talk about today, and also a terrible, terrible loss on Thanksgiving to the Cowboys that I'll unfortunately have to go through. But I'm excited that the Ravens got a big win. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about this live game Monday Night Football. The Bears are up 3-0 over the Vikings. So 3 sports games we're watching, 3 different sports. And we've got a ton of great commentators on tonight's show, including one who went to one of the games we'll talk about. And I think I have it rigged up where we can show live footage that she shot of the game. We're going to bring her in first. How are you doing tonight, C4?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back, and looking forward to talking with Casey actually in person, so to speak. So I'm excited.
It should be fun. Yeah, Casey's been on the show a bunch of times in the past, but this is, I think, his first time this season. I'm going to do a little Casey shout out. Also, when I update the Facebook links in a little bit, they'll have a link to some of his stuff as well. He's known as Titan Rising KM on Twitch here. So shout out to him over on Twitch. But Casey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Finest frog hair split 4 ways, as they say.
I have no idea what you just said, but sure. But that's awesome. But yeah, so Casey's been a big fan of the different DC sports teams. I see that he's representing a Commanders hat, and he's watching a little bit of this Wizards game alongside of me, as well as a big time Caps fan. So I'm excited to have Casey back on. And then the next person we're going to bring in is Gil, the host of the Power Play Point podcast, the blue liner on point himself. How are you doing tonight, Gil?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Not excited to be having to stay up late for a West Coast game, but comes with the job we all don't get paid for, I guess. So
it's true, and at least you get to wait up with friends on tonight's show. So
that's very true. That's very true. So
So-
it's takes a lot of the pain away. That's for sure.
Yeah, because I hate that agony of having to wait for 10 o'clock to come on, and tonight's is 10:30, right? Is that correct? I think
That's correct.
Yeah.
10:30 puck
Yes.
drop.
So that'll start during our Wizards coverage tonight, but we will be giving a live look in on that game as well. Sorry, I'm editing the podcast that Facebook so rudely doesn't let me have enough characters anymore. Anyway, but Gil, while I edit this podcast, let people know what happened on your podcast this week.
Yeah, it's so Anna's actually taking off next week. So this is the last one for her before, or one of the last ones she's going to be on before the year is out. We talk about the 2 games that were played, and a little bit of how Thanksgiving went for us, sort of, and but mainly how the games were played. Of course, we always recap the games, and some discussion about the potential health of TJ Oshie. And yeah, just kind of a spoiler alert, a kind of a warning as far as that goes for that as well. So yeah, it's all on our latest episode, number 237 in our bank account, and yeah, it's out now. So hope everybody enjoys it.
I can't believe that you're, in the 200s, and this is episode 323, and it's exciting, and it's cool to have been able to document so much of the Capitals' history over these last 6 years or so, and I'm excited to break down this week as well. While I continue to share this out to a couple of different groups, Gil, do you have the scores of the 2 games in front of you?
Which ones? The NHL games?
Yeah, the last two Capitals games.
The last 2 Caps games, yeah, I can bring those up. So the most recent game, of course, was against the Oilers.
Yeah, but we got to go back to the one before that, I think.
Right. So the one before that, of course, was the one against Buffalo on Wednesday, the 22nd, and that was a 4-3 victory in overtime. And did you want me to run down the score sheet on that one as well?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so all right, so the game started with a goal at, or the scoring started rather with a goal at 10:09 of the first. JJ Paterka, his eighth, opened the scoring. Jostin Olafsson on the assist on that one. I'll let you be the judge if you're watching the replay, but I say Kemper was more or less kind of screened, and the defensive coverage was more than a bit shoddy on that one. And but pick your poison. Goalie's fault, as a lot of people tend to lean, and/or defense, a little of both. But now Caps find themselves behind again early on in the game, and then nearly 6 minutes later, Zach Benson, the 18-year-old, well, he's a phenom. We can say it. His first ever career goal, and this one this one was this one was in the toilet because it was filthy dirty. Between the legs, nothing Kemper could do about it. Even if he tried a poke check, he never would have gotten it. Nice goal. I hope everybody catches a replay on it. Victor Olofsson, another assist on that one, finds him coming out of the corner, and next thing you know, it's 2-0 Sabres. And then a minute later or thereabouts, who should score but Alexander Alexeyev, who was on the ice for the first goal, his first ever career NHL goal. Dowd and Van Riemsdyk on the assists on that one, just kind of sort of a seeing eye goal from the point. And then the one that really broke it open was TJ Oshie at 7:50 of the second, his first of the year. So we finally get to hear Country Roads. And assist from McMichael, and that was again at 7:50 of the second. That tied the game. Caps would fall behind again a little bit later, about I want to say about 8 minutes later. Dylan Cousins, Rasmus Dahlin, Casey Middlestat with the assist on that one, 3-2 on the power play. And this was part of an extended series of penalties that the Capitals found themselves getting. Again, I'll leave you to comment on the officiating if you want. You who's listening to this and watching this podcast, we already made our commentary on the episode, but Caps are down again. This was the tail end of actually a 5-on-3 that they or 3-on-5 that they found themselves on, and then the clincher with 15 seconds before the McNugget minute. Tom Wilson, his fourth. Blasts a shot past Levi, the goalie, the Sabres goalie. Stroman Carlson on the assists on that one, just past the stick side of Levi. So ties it up with a minute 15 to go. And then on to overtime, where Dylan Strome puts it away with 8 seconds remaining in the extra session. Carlson with the breakout finds Strome on the wing across the red line. Milano was actually on his left wing on this play. It was a beautiful goal. He head faked a pass to Milano, and it looked like for a second he was actually going to complete the pass, but he kept it and just moved his body enough to kind of put a little bit of a spin on the shot and get it past Levi for the game winner. 4:52 overtime, so 2 points more in the bank for our Washington Capitals.
So for this one, I was really excited because this was the game we thought was going to be the trap game. And it turns out that we were a little bit early on that prediction.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see that they had fight in them and that they didn't give up when they were down. And the resilience factor, the goal was really beautiful, by Tom Wilson. I have to admit that I was actually with family during that game, but it was I was very excited. I wore my Tom Wilson jersey, and when I got out of the movie, I was happy to see that he had won it, or not won it, but tied it, so that way we could win it. And I want to get Casey's quick thoughts on that game, and then I want to get C4's thoughts, of course, going to it.
So I've got a moment of a story time here.
Okay.
This turd is named Oshie Alexander Wilson, and he made me miss the TJ Oshie goal. Stop, Kingsley. Kingsley. But wait. Okay, cool. Sorry. I grabbed the cat. The dog decided to bark. Okay, we're gonna fight.
I love it because we all have animals. We got I've got Lily over there camping out. So there's animals all over the podcast.
There's a cat under my Christmas tree over.
Nice. Yes.
Mine just went hiding.
Okay, let's try this again.
Not sure where the other two are.
So
Yes.
I'm watching the game. It's the first one I've had a chance to really sit down and watch, like in its entirety in a while. I was like really excited about it. So I'm sitting there, and I get up and go take a break during one of our time, like go to the bathroom during one of the timeouts, and I come back and I'm like, man, this timeout's going on forever. Why are they showing like a mini documentary on baseball? And I sat there, and Kaylee goes, "Why are you not watching the game?" And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "TJ Oshie, like your phone just said Oshie scored," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And like lost my mind because I waited all season because Oshie's my guy.
Oh no! And the dog changed the channel on you.
Yeah, the cat.
Or the cat.
Oshie Alexander Wilson.
The cat changed it. That's so funny. I guess that's a benefit of now using YouTube TV is that like that doesn't happen as often anymore. But yeah. Oh, that's brutal. I'm sorry that you missed it, but I'm happy that it happened.
Yeah, overall that game was absolutely a blast to watch. And it's the thing that I mentioned when I was on the roundtable with Gil a few weeks ago. You see something in these players that remind us of what we love about our Caps, and it's that they have the heart and they fight. They're gritty. Like we know we're going to win a lot of games 3-2, 4-3, 2-1. You might occasionally get a 4-2. But it's not going to be these blowout wins. We're not looking at doing what, spoiler alert, Edmonton does to us. But, I looked at it. Including the Edmonton game, we were 9 of 12 for a group that people had counted out. And that's really impressive. And yeah, some of those games went to overtime, but this team has a ton of heart. And they're going to fight, and seeing contributions from our future, Alexiev and Wilson and Strome, it just kind of should excite us as a fan base that there's going to still be a lot of things to cheer about in the coming years. And that's the game that
I think about the game that C4 Gill and I saw together. We had 3 points from that young, line, plus
Right.
3. And that was a great example of, I was upset that Kuzi wasn't playing, but then it shuffled the lines and we got to see some of the youth work together. And it obviously worked out pretty well.
And yeah, Hendrix Lapierre was absolutely outstanding in that game. And it just further cemented my love of Hendrix Lapierre. The name in and of itself is like just fantastic. So
I agree. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna test something real quickly and see if this works. And see if this works. Hold on, let me turn off the
Look at that.
Yeah, I think that I got it to work. Let me make you guys just a little bit bigger in the Zoom meeting.
I think that's warm-ups.
Yeah, this is the warm-ups one. So I can try to see if this will just play through. But I thought that you could voice over and talk a little bit about going to the game, C4 while we showed some footage of.
It was a lot of fun to watch that game in person. Yeah, we'll talk about the rest later. They were, let's just say, to be polite, they were not good. Marcus would be far less polite than I am. But it was, they made it interesting at some point, and that power play goal probably would never have happened if the refs had made the right calls or hadn't. But anyway, but yeah, the best part though was towards the end. Buffalo was up 3-2, and they're starting to do that. Whatever it is from the Bill, that make me want to shout, that the Buffalo Bills song. They want you want to shout, hey. So they're starting to do that for the Sabres. And all of a sudden, bam, Tom Wilson scores. Dead silence from every Bills fan around us for the rest of the game, or Sabres fan. See what you got me doing? Sabres fan for the rest of the game.
This is the end of the scrap.
Yeah,
from
that
Tom
was the
Wilson.
tail end of the scrap where I believe Tommy went
Green
in.
Bay hasn't played a game since that happened.
He hasn't played a game since it happened. Oh, okay.
To Carly, he hasn't played that game since it happened. She's a Sabres fan.
So anyway, so as you can see, we were up in the nosebleeds. This is after the game. 3 stars in the night. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But like I said, the best part of the night was they were the Bills fans, and there were actually quite a lot of Bills fans there. Sabres fans. Jeez, peas, it's hockey, not football. At least I got our team name right. But they it's the song. It's
The
confusing
chances
me.
of you being a Bills fan and a Sabres fan are very, very
Well, that's true. So there were a lot of the other team's fans there. Let's put it that way. There we go. The other team's fans there making all kinds of noise, talking crap and stuff. And then Wilson scores that tying goal, and they just
They were
actually they were
the
dead
entire overtime
silent
period,
the
they were quiet.
rest of the game, all the way through to overtime. It was great.
Did anyone razz them at the end? Like, be like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, that one right there.
There's a couple of Sabres fans behind us that I gave that they started chanting. The guy was even yelling at me. He's like, "Oh, your team sucks!" And then Wilson scored, and he was quiet the rest of the game.
Oh, that's fantastic. I feel like we should introduce Marcus. He's been on the show now for a while, and you're hearing the voice stylings of Marcus there. They do a podcast together. I'll let you guys give a quick shout out to it if you'd like.
Good.
Sakura.
Sakura.
Thanks, Robbie. We'd love to have you on there eventually. Gil's been on there already twice.
Yeah, we'd like to have Casey on there
Actually,
too.
go see episode 2. We actually did episode 2 on Saturday. We actually talked about the game against Buffalo. We also talked about Edmonton and the possibility of TJ Oshie retiring, which it's now likely looking closer and closer like it might happen because now they just put him on injured reserve. So he's probably going to be gone for a while, and I wouldn't be shocked by the end of the season he hangs his skates up. I really don't.
So we tend to talk. Yeah, we talk about the games, but we also talk about the prospects. We talk about the future. We talk
Shout out to my boy Ryan Leonard.
Yeah, we talk about what we see the Caps doing as a whole, as opposed to game by game. So
and me and Gil have gone in very deep.
Yeah,
the last 2 episodes.
So. Yeah, I'm just I'm just the pretty face on the sports.
What the team's going to look like by season end. I think our defense is going to be one of the teams. We're going to be one of the teams that no one wants to play. Yeah. We're going to score 2 goals a game, and we're still going to find a way to win 2-1, 1-0, 3-2, and they're going to just be frustrating. We kind of saw that against Columbus in that third period after they made it 4-3. We kind of made it difficult for them to get in the zone. We've seen it in spurts this season so far. The Vegas game, we looked really good in defense towards the end of that game. Charlie Lindgren did save our butts in that game, but I just feel like towards the end of the third period, we completely frustrated Vegas, and they haven't recovered since. I mean, Vegas has not looked good since they've lost to us. What?
Columbus beat the Bruins 5-1. 5-1.
Yeah, I see that
either.
Yeah,
so I mean, all the teams.
Yeah, I can't believe that Buffalo leads the Rangers 5-1. That's crazy.
Oh, 5-1.
Is it 5-1 now?
That's what at least the scoreboard just said, but I don't know.
It's still
2-1. Avalanche is up 1-0. Yeah. Panthers are up 3-0. Yeah. 5-1 Sabres.
Is it 5-1 Sabres?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be surprised the scoreboard was like that far off, but it's a robot giving me updates. So.
I did predict that the Sabres would be our trap game. It was almost our trap game. We almost lost 1 minute and 15 seconds away from losing that game. We never should have lost that game. But that game was so frustrating. They called McMichael for slashing, for love tapping one of the players. But then before that, during the same play, Carlson got high sticked at the blue line, and then on the other side, I don't know who it was, but one of our players was slammed in the boards head first. And they call a little love tap on McMichael.
Yeah, but that's another discussion.
I
Yeah.
guess right now I'm a fan of anybody that's beating the Rangers because, the Caps are my favorite team, but whoever beats the Crapsburg, Flightless Coldbirds, and the Rangers, I'm, kind of like them too.
The flightless cold birds, is that what you said?
Crapsburg, Flightless Coldbirds, I will not use their name.
Casey, me and Gil have a different name. It's not appropriate, but we have a different name for the Penguins. We have a different name for the Penguins.
See, I won't even say the animal. I won't even say the animal anymore.
It's not because we have the name for Pittsburgh because there's a reason why we call it that because of the river. But
yeah,
Oh,
I absolutely cannot handle it. But like I said, I dislike 3 teams. One team kind of is a lot. It's like 1A, 1B, and then it's like the distant third. The distant third's Bruins, just because that was that first set of games I watched. But I hated the Rangers because that was what got me into hockey. Was that the game with, like I said, we were alluding to it earlier, Tommy and Artemi Panarin, where don't be an idiot and jump on somebody's back and then act like a crybaby. You ain't got a bucket on, get off the ice.
For sure.
You put yourself in a position. I don't care how much we want to whine about it. And then the fight, well, like I said, the 3 fights to start and the TJ Oshie hat trick after coming back after the loss of coach, like all of that together was just that just cemented who I was as a fan.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, will not say Craftsburg's name at all. And I have a friend, like my assistant coach in wrestling is actually a Craftsburg fan. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm happy to see that the Wizards were able to win their game, so that's good.
They did not collapse while we were on stream.
Yeah, it's the first time that they haven't, so that I appreciate that. I think that's their 3rd win on the season. So yeah, I'm trying to get the final play here, see what I missed there, but yeah, they at least played pretty well. So
Yeah.
all right, let's get into Gil.
Whatever they lost.
Just quickly break down the Edmonton game and what went wrong. I'll be honest, I didn't get to watch it, so I'm gonna get most of your guys' takes on it.
Very, very quickly, what went wrong? You name it, everything. It all went wrong. No, there was no good to it. Nothing good about this game. It stunk. All 20 players, even the backup goalie, managed to find a way to stink because, yeah, it was that awful to watch. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. They lost to the second, third worst team in the league right now, and because they were not prepared to play this game at all. And I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can say about it, but that it was just 60 minutes of bad.
There's not much to say that's good, but I will say this: we were due for a game like this.
Probably, yeah.
The law of averages tells you that we're going to have a stinker that comes up every so often. And like I said, we had lost 2 games in 11. Like that's just for a team of our caliber, the way that we have to play, the way we have to fight, the way we have to scrap. Statistics, history, none of that says that we should have been 9 of 11. And so we were due, in my opinion. I hate to say it, but we were due.
It stings a little because it was against that team that has been in such disarray for a while. But yeah, that team was due. They'd been playing over and above their heads for the last 10, 11 games. So yeah, it makes sense that the loss comes, and previews of coming attractions. The opponents are only going to get tougher from here on out. Mm-hmm. So, but as long as they bring the effort, because they didn't, not this game. So
how they respond tonight will be how I really feel about that Edmonton game. If they come out tonight and they have good response and they put up a great effort, and don't shoot me for this, they can lose, but if they look good in a loss and they scrap the whole way, I'm going to be more impressed with that.
I'm predicting it now. We're not losing tonight.
Yeah, well, my point is we better actually win the whole game because if I stay up all the way through this thing and
It's
they
San
then
Jose.
lose it at the
By
very
far the
last
worst team in the
period,
league.
I'm gonna be very pissed tomorrow.
I just coming from this life change where I'm now a coach of something. I have different perspectives when I look at these things now because I'm like, it's how would I want my wrestlers to respond to a bad loss? It's like, you can go 0-2, but if you made changes and you look better and you come closer in the second loss after a blowout, I'm going to be happier with you than, you go out there and you get blown out twice.
Right. No, I get that. I used to coach soccer. I understand that. Like, we have to see progression and you want to have players learn the position and at least, some years aren't going to be the year you win it all, but can you build on the previous year's accomplishments? Can you try to build game to game? It's important to progress, especially, a lot of people didn't even have us making the playoffs this year. So, we're already somewhat punching above where people expected us to be. So
Right.
utilize that, use the and take advantage of these opportunities. It's unfortunate that a lot of these older players are getting injured and going on IR, but it opens up doors for some of these younger players to get playing time and to show us what they got. And I think that's important. So, Gil, what are some of your thoughts on the Sharks?
Well, it's they're still the bottom feeders, pun intended, of the league right now. And so, yeah, it's a win is expected. Should it be expected? No, because as has been pointed out, this team is not talented enough to go in to expect a win. You can go in with confidence. You should not go in expecting a win against any team in the league right now, especially not this team the way it's built, because they're going to have to outwork all of their opponents, like Casey mentioned a few times just now, and that is rapidly becoming their character, their identity. That's the thing that's been missing. They really haven't gotten a beat on who they are yet, but that's all coming together in the fact that they're scrapping, they're working hard, they're doing all the little things, winning all the little battles that lead up to the win. And as long as they keep that up, I'm not going to say I would be disappointed with a loss, but I would be even more disappointed if they don't come out with the proper response.
Right. So just for people who might not be following the San Jose Sharks, they've lost 6 out of their last 8. They lost a series against Vegas, Anaheim, Florida, dating back, and then they were able to beat St. Louis. Then they lost at Vancouver, at Seattle, and then lost a home game versus Montreal. Then the second game in that homestand, they were able to beat Vancouver, and then we are the last game of this homestand before they go to Boston on Thursday. So, for them, it's an important game to try to get some win and some momentum going on, a road trip. So it's definitely not an easy game, and it's one that we're gonna have to take very seriously.
They could also.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
They could also be just like we were thinking about the home or moving on to traveling, going to other places, overlooking what this game is. There may be something to be said for that. So, we'll see.
I'm calling it now. I'm telling you now. We're going to win this game, and it's not even going to be close.
You think we're going to win by more than 2 goals?
Yeah, I think Ovi made a comment about the Edmonton game. He was pissed. He was not happy about it, and I think they're going to come out in this game, and they're going to take out their frustrations on San Jose.
Yeah, especially since San Jose gave us such a hard time last time. We made that game harder than it had to be. So
we outplayed them all game, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
My only fear is when they get aggressive like this, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I've watched this stat for 3 years now. If the Capitals' hits are significantly higher than their opponent, we lose it every time.
Well, you didn't watch the 2018 run.
Which makes sense because the hit count, if the hit count's higher, that means you don't have the puck. That means you're going after the puck. So you're not possessing. And if you're not in possession, you're not creating chances. You're not creating chances, you're not scoring. Do I need to go on?
No, we got it.
In a sense, though, yes, Gil, but also in 2018's example against Tampa Bay, we hit the more than we had the puck. And we weakened. We took down Tampa by checking, and checking is a big part of the game. So if we're checking,
Wear them down.
wearing them down, that's part of our game. That's what makes us so successful in the past. We're able to throw the body. We're able to, and hitting players and hitting the other team's players, creating chances. They create chances. You're in the defense. You're in the offensive zone. The defender has the puck. You knock him down. You get the puck, and you have a 2-on-1 situation. You have a one-timer situation. So yes, in a sense, yeah, it has been negatives and positives. But in my opinion, I think it's more positive to use the body because you create more chances through doing that. You also wear the team down, especially when it comes to playoffs. You have to do that. Like the teams that hit the hard the most tend to go far in the playoffs.
I'm not saying when our hits aren't relatively close. I'm saying when we're winning by, like, we're winning the hit department.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
When we're winning by 10 hits, it's like I've often sat back and I've been like, okay, there's moments that we're almost too aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're having to play aggressive because we've went in and we've made some silly mistake, lost the puck. They come back and retaliate with a hit. We try to go back down and we're making those same mistakes. It's whenever we get so astronomically high compared to the other team. It's like that's what we're focused on, and it's not playing with our head on our shoulders.
Yeah, I see that. That makes sense.
And building on that point, that all goes into the chasing the game mentality, which the Caps never do. They never do that well. When they end up chasing the game,
How in the world
they
did
lose.
Florida get a 9-minute power play? 10 minutes.
I've seen that before. That are you looking at the app?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I saw one game that a team got a 15-minute power play once. So the makers of that app have some
Sorry, I
work
didn't
to
mean to
do.
interrupt.
Yeah.
No, it's
All right. So
fine.
I hate to shorten this,
You
but a
gotta
bunch of things have happened. One is that Facebook is on my shit list because they've now sent our show off air a while ago, said that it was spam because I shared it to a bunch of Caps groups saying, come join us while we're waiting for the game to start. And they're like, well, your deceptive practices. And so, yeah, it's making me not want to.
He's scamming. He's a scammer.
I'm a scammer. Don't come listen to us. So luckily I set a separate recording. I will obviously share this to a bunch of other different sources on my YouTube channel. We're still live on Twitch. But it's very frustrating. But I am gonna have to switch to football because I haven't been paying attention to the time as much as I should be, and I have other guests on the line. But I really appreciate all of you guys for helping me break it down, and we will clip up the hockey segment and release it later, or something to that effect. This is why I record things 3 different ways. Some people think that I'm crazy, but Facebook and I think I shared it too fast, but I'm trying to have a conversation with you guys. I don't want to be sitting there coming up with different language for every share that I'm going to be doing, and I guess I'm in too many Caps groups, and even ones that I moderate. But
don't you love that the social media platform that was literally designed for us to peer-to-peer share and promote business is now saying that you're spamming because you're promoting your podcast?
Yeah,
Right.
It's pretty bullshit, and it makes me not want to be on Facebook. We started on Facebook. We have our biggest following on Facebook. It's why I stay on Facebook. But honestly, week to week, they make some fucked up decisions.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
I know he it's pretty much ass, and it sucks because I met all of you guys through Facebook, right? So and without Facebook, none of us would have met. So but at the same time, I might be just done with it, and it is what it is. But I definitely want to give quick shout out. Go check out Casey's podcast or his show on Twitch. I know he's taking a bit of a break, but he might be doing a little bit more when
every Tuesday night.
Happens. Tuesday night?
Every Tuesday night. If you're into pro wrestling, we have a weird little created world where we've made our own company and all original characters, and we put on an actual show just like you would see for WWE or AEW or anything on Tuesday nights. So
nice.
We actually have 2 this week, one on Thursday because we're making up where we took off for Thanksgiving.
Cool. Titan Rising.
What's the name of it?
It's Titan Rising KM. I just put it in chat, and I will put it in all the links for our podcast stuff when we release the audio podcast and the YouTube videos later. And
We happen to have pro wrestling on.
Oh, nice. and Hurt, who's just joining us right now, is a big pro wrestling fan as well.
CM Punk. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can.
No.
No, Casey. I'm going to get with you about that because you say you have your own pro wrestling company.
Okay, so we do everything through 2K23. We made our own made up company with all made up characters and we have our own arenas. We don't use anything like no WB Trons, none of that stuff. We make everything our own and completely tell our own story. We book our own cards,
Gotcha.
do all of our own graphics. It's called Titans of the Ring every Tuesday night. This week's at 6. Most weeks we're at 7 due to just scheduling stuff, but we got so much that we have to get done this week.
Okay, yeah, add me. I'm a member of PWR. I don't know if you've heard of it. I'm an E-Feder, a big time E-Feder. I'm exclusive to PWR, but definitely add me anyway so I can check you guys out.
Will do. What's your name on Twitch?
You guys are in the same group chat actually. It's Brian Carr
cool.
on Twitch.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Or on Facebook rather. Let me just quickly say everyone go check out Gil on the Power Play Point podcast. I just put the links in chat for there. But you can always find it on our website, sportsothp.com, podcast partners. Check out Gil's stuff there. I will also share in the links the podcast that they're doing with C4. And Marcus, thank you for joining us as well. I don't have time for full send-offs, but I just want to thank you guys all for being on the show as always, and we'll definitely talk more hockey next week and exciting West Coast road trip coming up, and hopefully the Caps can get some wins.
And hopefully I can stay awake for all of them.
Yeah, sounds good.
I probably won't, but
Frappuccino time.
yeah, there
Sounds
we
good.
go.
No, Gil, it's all about that Monster Energy drink.
Oh God, no, I'll be up for 3 days. Just
6 cans of Monster Energy drink. Let's go.
I drink
The
one of
next
those I'm
Kyle.
up for 3 days, man. Forget it.
Well, thank you guys so
Oh,
much.
Robbie, I
yeah.
got striked for sharing your video.
Yep, I saw that.
Oh,
I hate Facebook so much right now. But anyway, I'm trying to keep somewhat of composure, but they are definitely, I mean, they've been fucking C3 for forever. This is only the second time that they've messed with me in the 8 years, but it's becoming tough. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me the hockey. Hope you guys enjoy the game later. We'll definitely be covering it in our last segment as well, but hope you guys all have a great night.
Thanks, Robbie.
right.
We'll
Thanks,
talk
Robbie.
soon.
Night.
Good
Thanks for having me
night.
on. Really appreciate it. Have a good
Yes,
night, guys.
thank you.
Night, guys.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.
All right, so I'm going to switch over to our NFL graphics.